If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
Man, it was nice to have a weekend off, but it is great to be back with the Benchwarmers, back with you. I know that we got to see each other. We basically did a podcast in the upper section of Ball Arena, and I came home and I told my mom, I'm starting to think that Niko and I are getting pretty good at this, because the guy next to him started jumping in on the conversations we were having. The guy next to me, we missed it. We needed to be able to talk our sports, but it was nice to be able to kind of take a step back, not have to stress. I know you were out of town. I had wrestling going on. There was a whole lot going on. I'm ready for break. I get my Thanksgiving break next week, so I'll say it. Happy Thanksgiving early. Gabagool. It's good. It's good to be back. Welcome back after the bye week. Niko, what's up? I know that you've been working and you had that trip, but you got to be feeling good. I know you're feeling good.
Oh, life is good as a Denver sports fan right now. Well, I'm sure we'll get into all of it, but outside of a Denver Nuggets loss on Monday night, we haven't lost a home playoff game since the Rocky season ended. So for those that aren't keeping track, that's 3 sports seasons that we finally lost our first regular season home game on Monday night, and it was November 15th, 16th, whatever it was, 16th when that happened. So life ain't too bad. I'll be in Vancouver again this weekend, and in Vancouver for game 1. So travel is just picking up over here too.
Hey, we were talking about that. You're working with the MLL in the Denver Outlaws, and that NLL, not the MLL. MLL is no longer NLL in the indoor league, and you're going to be going out to Canada quite a bit, because that is where a majority of the box lacrosse is played. Because we mention it when we talk about the PLL, but lacrosse is Canada's. It's not hockey as Canada's national sport. They are really good at it. They're probably better than a lot of the rest of the world. Lacrosse is their thing, and they love indoor lacrosse. So Niko is going to be making quite a few trips up the border. So if you're a Canadian listener, tell your friends to check out the show. And when he's up there, go to an indoor lacrosse league game and get people are starting to reach out. We're building a community. It's good. It's good timing.
The original Mammoth, by the way, not the Utah Mammoth. The Utah Hockey Club copied our name. Just fun fact. So
it's similar. I have a lot of kids. I say you can work together, and what that turns into is, what was the answer? And then they just type out the same thing. That's what Utah did. It's like, let's look around. Yetis. Well, Avalanche mascot used to be a Yeti. Can't really do that because I do want them to bring Howler back. No, that's not going to work. Predators. No, damn it. We already have one of those. Mammoth. Nobody's a Mammoth, right?
Mammoth. They did Outlaws. They did 2 lacrosse teams in the state of Colorado, just across the state border as their top 2 options, and they landed on Mammoth. All right. Well,
you have Cougars in your state. You have Utes. You have all those other things that you could have picked, and it could have made a lot more sense. But I guess not a lot more sense, but it would have made sense either any way that you wanted to slice it. That'll be fun. We took last weekend off. Hopefully you guys checked out and are subscribed to the YouTube channel at FEOTB Pod. I was releasing classic clips. I released a bunch from our interview with Luis Vasquez. It's crazy to think about this. That was 4 years ago. We interviewed Luis Vasquez. We interviewed Scott the Huff, who's a local radio guy here. So I put out those clips. Make sure that you're checking it out. Follow us and make sure that you subscribe. Tell your friends on all your platforms, because it just helps out. I haven't been able to tell you. Oh, yeah, I told you I haven't been able to tell you and all the Benchwarmers. My students have found my show. They found it, and
great.
They're subscribed to it. So Niko and Niko doesn't have to we don't have to watch anything, because there's a disclaimer, and this is not related to my teaching persona. But I am a popular teacher. I'm not tooting my own horn, and I have one kid today. He's like, Mr. Pilato, I subscribed on all 17 of my YouTube channels, and all of my family subscribed on theirs too. I was like,
great.
You have 17? Okay,
17?
Beautiful. Keep them coming.
Keep
a couple more.
Tell your friends. Keep subscribers coming. That's funny. So that's hilarious.
It's first year that's been like a big thing, and now I have to deal with. It sounds so vain, but there's been a couple times where I walk behind and was like, turn me off. Now that pause. Not that way. Turn my face off of your screen because you're watching my videos.
Careful of that.
Stop watching my videos in my class. I want you to look up here. Not down there. Look up here. This is the moneymaker. Not down there. You guys got to watch and learn from here.
I've listened to maybe 2 shows back, and we've done 256 of them. I don't. I hate listening to my voice more than anything. So I understand it, and you have to listen to us because you have to edit it and do all this mess. But yeah, I'm glad you help.
You know what I realized is it was the years going back into the interviews. I was like, wow, I don't really notice your voice pre and post surgery until I go back and watch one of our old videos, and I was like, yeah, there's
a difference.
There's a slight difference. I'm sitting there like Jabba the Hutt, and most of them, like my chins are I was heavy. I was heavy when we started. I was just getting out of playing football. I hadn't found my footing, and now here we are. We're getting ready to talk some college football playoffs, and we're going to look at the conference standings because while Texas losing means that there's less chance of chaos, the Power Four conferences, especially the ACC. Niko, I was listening to something today. There's a possibility of a 6-way tie for the ACC champion now that Virginia Tech has continued to lose. Duke is taking themselves out of it. North Carolina, surprisingly enough, is sneaky. I'm not sure. We'll get into it when we look at the ACC conference. But
there's something sneaky about them. That's all I'll say.
Hey, did you see the picture?
Oh, I'm sure you saw the picture. You bet I did see the picture. Look. There are a lot of things that we do as adults to try to make ourselves try to
relive your glory days.
Yeah, no, try to be busy. Like we pick up hobbies. Like I fly fish. I snowboard. I play chess when I'm bored. I think those. Some people do marathons. I think those are totally, entirely sane adult hobbies, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand, and maybe this is me being just whacked out because I play men's league basketball too every now and then. I don't understand how there's an adult professional or adult
recreational
cheerleading competition.
Let alone the guy that's won 6 Super Bowls standing there like, yay, way to go, honey.
That may be one of the wildest things I have ever heard as a thing. I couldn't imagine being right now, 28 years old, being like, you know what? I want to go cheer. You know what? You know who needs some cheer? I need to get some pep into these steps.
Let's cheer for the imaginary team that doesn't exist. Ready? Okay.
It's just, unless you're literally our age and you're a dancer for a team, right? Or a hype squad for a team, right? Why are you doing recreational cheerleading? I don't. That's first of all, that's way too hard.
Maybe there's scouts. Maybe we're being too harsh on this. Maybe there's scouts that are looking for. I don't know what. Maybe there's professional scouts. Is that where they pick up the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders? I never watched the documentary on Netflix.
Shot. So. There's no shot. I'm gonna tell you right now. I haven't either, but there's no shot. I no offense to the people in the picture, but I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that checks out. I was like, yeah, that sums it. Look, I'm all for doing whatever you want to do in life and living free and doing, like I said, everybody love everybody. Do whatever you need to do. All for it. But that's a little even weird for that standard. You know what I mean? Like that's I can't put it around. It's crazy.
It's like Last Chance U for cheerleading. They did have a documentary about a cheer squad at some Texas school.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Yeah, bring it on.
Great.
I love Bring It On. But they were high schoolers.
Yes, they were high schoolers.
And they were competing for a national championship, not South Suburban Rec League cheerleading championships.
Not 30-year-old, 40-year-old men and women.
No.
My God.
There was I don't know who looked more upset that he was in the picture, because when you look at all right, we've been talking about it enough. I'll go ahead and find it. But when you look at the picture, Bill Belichick looks disappointed that he's there. But one of the male cheerleaders looks just as disappointed that he's there, and somebody caught a picture of him as well. It's like, damn it, nobody ever brings cameras to these things.
He had to have lost a bet. There's that had to have been a fantasy football punishment. I'm dead serious. There's no. Maybe there's a way, but
don't you get any damn ideas, Niko? Because I can run a mile in a suit. I ain't.
You'll try a little extra harder. I'll tell you that much.
I'm trying
I know you're trying hard. It's just your team sucks again. You're getting slacked every week.
I've been getting hosed so badly. No, let's see. I'll pull it up in the Google search for people to be able to see it.
Has someone's character changed that much in that short amount of time?
I have no idea.
Because I heard the radio talking about this morning. I don't know if Sean Payton's married. I think he's married. I know he has a daughter.
I know he has been married and he has kids, but who knows if he's still married?
No idea.
Old football coaches is rough.
Phil Jackson, basketball coach. Don't know if he's married. Probably married. Pat Riley, probably married. Never seen him. Bill Belichick went from one of the hard asses in the whole world of sports to showing up at cheerleading competitions in a cutoff hoodie, by the way.
Yeah, he is wearing his sideline hoodie. I bet you it's one of his Patriots Super Bowl hoodies that he's like, I won number 3 with this one, so I'll wear it for good luck, sweetie.
I mean, I guess.
This is the guy. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed, like, comment down below what you think this guy's thinking in front of Bill Belichick. But that's the guy that I was like, he's even more disappointed that he's there and he's competing in the competition.
There's like, I mean, we can move on because this
back to what we were originally going to talk about.
North Carolina's horrible, but I can't believe that Jordan, what's her name? Woods?
Jordan Hudson.
Jordan Hudson. Jordan Woods, something else.
Not Jordan. Jordan.
Jordan Hudson. I can't believe
it's you know what it is? It's the other guys. Christina, you come to my house. You get my wife's name right.
I guess women will have a stranglehold on you forever, Bill. But good for you, I guess.
I get that if you're a young male listener or female listener, that when you have a girlfriend or a wife and you get older and you know that they're out of your league, you're like, I got to do a lot of stuff to make sure that this thing stays good.
Yeah, but that's a little too extra. We're borderline like scary. Is this man okay? Like is he getting forced to do this? Like that's.
Somebody make sure that Bill's estate is already taken care of, and Steve is going to be taken care of once he goes, because that's what it does seem like. Looking at the latest college football playoff rankings, 1, 2, 3 stay the same. It's Ohio State, it's Indiana, it's Texas A&M. Those are our 3 Power 4
Texas
undefeated.
A&M had the scare of the century this past year.
Scare of the century, and also one of the weirdest situations on the sideline. That state trooper, who has since been relieved of his game day duties, that was just. I don't understand what is the point of that. What is the motivation? Are you thinking that you're going to be able to arrest the receiver that just returned a kick on you on the field? No, you're not going to be able to do that. That's not assault. Everybody, and you know that there's cameras, a billion cameras. It's ESPN. ESPN's back on YouTube TV. It's
there's another person which we'll talk about later in terms of lying and saying he did something else to the camera. We'll talk about later. Don't worry. But
Niko, he's spitting for. I'm going to hold myself back here, but he's practicing his spitting for other reasons because the Bengals are doing other things instead of actually playing football. This is ridiculous, though.
It's ridiculous. Like first of all, like the South Carolina, the video back, you can look at it. They look like they're moving out of the way.
They kind of separate and give the state trooper a lane to walk through, and the guy
and he just shoulder shoves them just so dumb.
It's entitled. It looks like entitlement. It looks like the guy literally thinks he's going to be able to take this kid off the field. It's like, you know what? I told you not to run any more kicks back. On my field. This is Texas A&M territory. You better not run any more kicks back. I'm going to make sure that you don't do that. It's like, no, again, you can't do that. Play the game better. I will give you Texas A&M credit, and I will give Mike Elko credit. This is why everybody is still hesitant about Texas A&M being a number 3 in the country in the rankings, and if they're a 3 seed into the SEC championship, it'd be their first time in the SEC championship. Even when Johnny Manziel was there, they weren't making the conference title game. They showed a lot of grit.
Yeah,
they showed that the
30-3. It's a crazy.
It's a program that is being looked at and moved in the right directions. It's not just the hype and the flash, because we see that very close to home. It's not about who you recruit. It's about the work that you do. His quote from his post-game press conference was, we won this game in the winter when we were doing extra reps. We won this game in spring ball when we were running plays at practice, doing sprints, conditioning. Like, this was not a win that I didn't come in at halftime and say something prophetic and then we came back and won. No, we had to actually work for this, and we built this in the offseason. So top 3 stays the same because they're undefeated. Like I said before we took our bye week, it is going to be much rarer in college football to see a truly undefeated season. It's going to be more similar to the NFL now, where it's like 2 and 3 wins is very successful. That's a healthy program if you're consistently losing only 2 to 3 games a season, because you will always be in the conversation. You will always be near your conference championship game. And right now, in 2 seasons of the expanded playoff, those are the 2 things that matter more so than big-time opponents, more so than winning percentages. If you're close to your conference championship and you're undefeated, you are in a good spot, especially if you're in the ACC, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12. So the top 3, no movement. Georgia and Texas Tech both move up from last week. Georgia with a big win over Texas. Texas Tech is handling people now. I know that they have that loss a couple weeks ago. They dominated BYU, held them under 10 points. They just dominated UCF, who is not a good team, but no slip up. There was no trap game. They have a linebacker that could be the first linebacker Heisman finalist since Manti Te'o. I don't know if you've seen Rodriguez, their middle linebacker. He took a wildcat snap this weekend, scored a touchdown on offense, and then on the next series on defense, intercepted the pass and nearly took it back to the house. The dude almost had back-to-back touchdowns in different phases of the game. Texas Tech, when they're healthy, when they're right, they're a damn good football team.
Texas Tech is setting themselves up perfectly, because although it's maybe disheartening that you see yourself ranked as 5, be honest with yourselves, that's exactly where you kind of want to be. When you have 2 Big Ten teams and 2 SEC teams above you, because probably 2, if not at minimum 1 of those will drop below you. If you win,
you're guaranteed a 2 or a 3 seed.
You're going to buy. It's a great spot to be in.
Big 12 champion is not going to be the 4 seed like it was last year, but even then, Arizona State was a team that nobody thought had a chance of making the playoff, and they made it all the way back and got a bye based on winning their conference championship and winning it decidingly. I think that Texas Tech will be in the Big 12 championship. I think whoever ends up there, we're going to look at who has the most realistic shot, but I know BYU is still hanging around. Whoever they find in the Big 10 championship, I think they're going to see a team. That's another program. They spent a lot of money. They have a lot of NIL people that are on their roster, but McGuire is building that. He's a former high school coach in Texas, so he has all these ties to the other coaches. He played against them. He recruits in North Texas better than any other school. That includes UT. That includes Texas A&M. Texas Tech is here for a reason. We have Ole Miss, Oregon, Oklahoma, who had a huge win over Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And I think I might have been AI'd, so you can confirm if you heard this or not, but Kalen DeBoer has agreed to leave at the end of the season based on his situation.
I think you were AI'd, maybe.
I think I was. I figured it was AI'd, but it doesn't. Here's the thing. It doesn't seem like the craziest situation right now based on – we know that he's getting his house egg.
Did I not say that that was a hot seat at the beginning of the season? I remember on this show.
It was definitely still a hot seat, even in the midst of their winning streak.
higher seat than Ryan Day, which is still true. Doesn't matter. It's still true, because Ohio State will be playing for a chance to win the national championship, whether or not they beat Michigan or not. And Kalen DeBoer is, with this college football playoff and with the 5 conference champions getting in, which could throw in as SMU or could throw in a Tulane, for instance. Alabama, they have to run the table again. Like I said, they have to run the table again. And they have some tough games coming up. But like DeBoer misses the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. Give Lane Kiffin a call before he leaves to Florida, is all I'm going to say. Or before he leaves to LSU, because that's the best option. Or call, see if Nick can come back. Like, see if Nick Saban can come back, because if you have it, because maybe Lane Kiffin is waiting for that job. You think he is? Because all the rumors saying he doesn't want to leave and blah blah blah. I'm telling you, one job he'd leave for. That's Alabama. I guarantee you, if he was offered the Alabama job, he's leaving. When it comes to LSU and Florida as opposed to Ole Miss, I think that's up for debate. But he gets offered the Alabama job, he's gone. Adios.
As far as coaches go, actions speak louder than words, and every other coach that was possibly talked about in replacing one of the big jobs that has been taken down this season, whether it's Penn State or possibly Alabama if it comes open, or LSU, Florida, it's every other coach has signed an extension and made sure that they're going to stick around. Lane Kiffin's the only one, and it's also probably why they struggled as much as they did against Florida, because they had to pull that game out. They were down at times against the Florida team that is talented, but everybody knows who they are. They have no head coach. That's one of the jobs. It wasn't a very pretty audition, but it is still got to be sitting in the back of the Ole Miss players' minds. Like, I don't know if my coach is going to be here. He says he's going to be here. He continues to talk in the media and shoot down, no, I'm not leaving. Trust me, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Like we said, The last time that you hear a coach say, I'm not leaving, check their flight schedule. They're going to be moving around and trying to talk to the prettiest girl at the bar who's going to offer them, what, $67 million, something like that?
Yeah. I mean, like if unless Ole Miss goes on this crazy run this year and they can start recruiting crazy numbers, it's tough to see Lane Kiffin being there for the long term.
Yeah. Let's change gears and go into the specific conferences, and we'll start in the SEC since we were just talking about Alabama. Georgia and Texas A&M right now would be slated to meet in Atlanta for the SEC championship. They played that game out in the Mercedes-Benz, stadium. The Aggies 7-0 in conference play, 10-0 overall. Bulldogs 7-1. They have that lone loss to the Crimson Tide way back in the beginning of the season. But right now, here's my thing. I think Georgia's the scariest team of them all because of the experience that they bring besides Ohio State. If I'm going to look at another team right now besides the Buckeyes that have a true legitimate chance that I'm going to be able to stake a reputation on, it would be Georgia and it would be Kirby Smart because they are tough mentally and physically. Gunnar Stockton is kind of like
mentally
tough. Yeah.
Mentally?
Very mentally tough.
But Georgia's off the field stuff?
Well, that has nothing to do with toughness on the field, mental toughness.
I'm just saying mental toughness. I think
you can't win championships with fire boys. That's a lawyer with a good retainer.
I understand the mental toughness part on the field, but in general, that can be up for debate.
I mean, these guys don't necessarily leave the program as better individuals, but you either go to the NFL if you're one of the best players on the defense, or I know you can sell cars in Atlanta for the rest of time.
Or you go 150 miles per hour down the highway there and do something dumb.
Do you speed like I did when I was the wide receiver at the University of Georgia? Come on down to Champ Automotive.
That's what I'm saying. Mental toughness, that could be, I think, in questions. Physical toughness, absolutely not. But mental toughness, Smart has great mental toughness. Players, not so much, but that's only a couple of them as opposed to the whole team. But yeah, Georgia is very easily like the scariest team out of everybody not named Ohio State.
They're currently on a 6-game winning streak. And if everything holds serve, I'm going to pull up their schedule because I don't think that there's Georgia Tech might be the toughest game that they have left. Alabama has Auburn. They play Eastern Illinois this weekend, but they have Auburn in 2 weeks. Yeah, Georgia's playing Charlotte this week. Charlotte sucks in the American Conference, so that is a nothing game. That's one of those SEC cupcakes in November. The Georgia Tech game is going to be fun because last year was a lot of fun, and Georgia Tech wasn't as good as they are this season. I know that they've struggled in recent weeks, and they've kind of fallen out of the ACC title contention themselves. They need a lot of help. That is going to be a hell of a game to watch. I'm very excited for Georgia Tech. SEC seems like it's set. The Big Ten is another conference that seems like it's set on who is going to be representing them, and it's not really a surprise about one of them, but Indiana technically number one because they have one more game in the Big Ten Conference. They are number 2 in the college football playoff rankings, but standings-wise, they would be the hosting team of the Big Ten championship in Indiana. Ohio State right now holding the second spot. Is there anybody in this conference that you think could take out one of those two teams? Is it Michigan, possibly with a win over Ohio State? Or if Michigan beats the Buckeyes, does that move USC or Oregon, who USC beat Michigan head-to-head? Who do you think would win in that chaotic situation if Ohio State does go down in their last game of the season?
I mean, I don't know tiebreakers. I don't know how that works in the Big Ten. I have no idea. I mean, Michigan.
I feel like USC would have to be ahead of Michigan because of the game that they played on the field.
So I would assume if Michigan beats Ohio State, then USC could jump above Ohio State, or I guess I mean, like I said, I don't know tiebreakers. There's 2 games left. It's not like there's 8 games left, and we could start saying, "Oh, this team loses that." No, there's 2 games left, so it's a little bit tougher. I don't know how the tiebreakers work and all that. I would assume Indiana has Purdue as their last game because that's a big rivalry game. That will probably be a cakewalk. And I don't know what their second to last game is, but I would assume Indiana will like I said, unless Michigan can beat Ohio State and knock them out, then USC would jump in, or it looks like USC would jump them over Oregon, but I don't know what the tiebreaker is there either. So
and they don't play each other head to head this season, so it would be based on common opponents. And I can't remember who they're coming. I think it might be Notre Dame.
I would assume this is. I would assume this is how it would be set. So if Michigan beats Ohio State, USC would jump above them. Or maybe Ohio State stays the same, and it doesn't even matter what the Michigan game is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's right now Ohio State ends the season with a game at Rutgers this weekend, and then next weekend in the Big House against Michigan, because it's the season that they go out to Ann Arbor. Indiana has a bye week this week, and then Purdue to end their season, so pretty much a lock. This one, not too much chaos is a possibility, but if one of those top two teams does lose their final big rivalry game, then we start seeing the Trojans and the Ducks, the Pac-12 making a resurgence. Who would have thought the Pac-12 not? Are we going to be Pac-12 stands again with all these new teams? Because you don't watch any of those new teams and play football.
No, but I'm going to be a Mountain West stand again because my Lopes are back in the Mountain West for basketball. So now we're even bigger a Mountain West stand. So maybe not Pac-12, but we'll be Mountain West stands.
I can live with that for basketball. And I like watching extra football, especially when it's on Tuesday or Wednesday. CBS does a decent job. Looking at the Big 12, this is a conference where there's a lot of question besides one of the sides. So Texas Tech, they finish up their season. They're in based on their conference record, even though they have that one loss. I'm going to pull up, see who it is. I have it right here. Arizona State beat them by 2 points, but since then they've been on a 4-game winning streak. They have no date set or time, but their last opponent is going to be West Virginia. So that'll be another win for them to flex their muscles. I don't see them falling out. The other teams that are here, BYU, Utah. BYU beat Utah in their head-to-head matchup, so they have the head-to-head tiebreaker. Houston, they're not one that I'm really worried about. Arizona State, no. BYU and Utah would be the only two that I'm kind of sitting there like, depending on how things shake out. BYU has Cincinnati. That's going to be a tough matchup this weekend. Then they'll finish off with UCF. Utah, in their last 2 games of the season, they are going to let's see. Utah has lost to Texas Tech and BYU, so they've lost to the top 2 teams in front of them. They have Kansas State and Kansas to finish off their seasons. So I guess my question for the Big 12 is, between BYU and Utah, who are you going with out of the Mormon State? Because it's definitely going to be one of those 2.
Okay, I would leave BYU because BYU has the tiebreakers, the head-to-head matchup. This is the Big 12 championship, maybe the one of the highest stakes games in terms of championship weekend. Like look at the numbers you said. BYU, Utah, both 11-12. That's bubble teams. And with the five conference champions getting in no matter what, you have to win your Big 12 championship if you want to get it. And if Texas Tech wants a bye, they're going to need to win that game too. So a rematch of Texas Tech BYU is probably going to be one of the best weekends of Big 12 championship weekend. It's or in terms of championship or conference championship weekend, it's going to be an excellent game, and it's going to have a lot of high stakes. So if I were to lean, it'd be that.
That'll also be one of the first ones that takes place. It's early on Saturday, so it'll be kind of the kickoff to the championship. It's Big 12, then SEC, and then Big 10 is the nightcap. So it'll be the start of everything, and there will be a lot on the line. And Heisman candidacy is going to be there because I think that's the last game before they go out for the finals. So Rodriguez is going to be blazing around, and I think the defense is going to show up for Texas Tech side at least, and I know Utah has played good defense, and their head coach, Kalani Sitake, is one of the top in the country. That he's just in the right spot with BYU. Last of the Power 4, and then I guess I'll tell you who the group of 5 teams that we're looking at right now are going to be or what they look like. ACC championship, if it were to end today, Georgia Tech would take on Virginia. They both have 6-1 records in the conference. They are split by a game overall. Virginia has one more loss than the Yellow Jackets does. Pitt is still right there, even though Pat Narduzzi just got himself embarrassed. Especially, he got himself embarrassed twice by Notre Dame. I know we didn't do a show, but that was the main premise of my update. His quote, "I don't care if we lose to Notre Dame by 100. They can score 110, and we can score 90. Or not 90. They can score 100. We can score 10. If we lose by 90, that's fine as long as we win our ACC games." What?
That's a mentality of.
I thought Miami was soft, but that's soft as Charmin.
This conference is just a disaster. This conference is only going to get one team, and it's going to be a here you go. Like if in terms of the 5 conference champions getting in, this may be the worst year for it. Last year was a perfect year, right? You had Boise State that was really, really good. You obviously had Arizona State sneak in as well, right? You had really 5 really good conference champions. This year, you can argue 3. but it's going to be 2. Like I mean, look, all kudos to Texas Tech, but they'll get a bye just because of here we have to give it to somebody bye week if
They're
they
probably
win
going to be the
conference
2
championship.
seed.
I'm gonna say no firm on that because I think it'd still be SEC, Big Ten, some sort of combination 1-2, no matter how it fits out. But
if Georgia's a 2-loss SEC champion because they lose to Georgia Tech on the last weekend of the season, then they're a 2 seed.
No, I still think the committee would put them.
A 2-loss SEC champion doesn't get a higher seed than a 1-loss Big 12 champion.
You may be right, but I'm thinking of what they've shown me every single year, being like, who the fuck cares is the Big 12? Look who Georgia just beat in the SEC championship with the win over Texas A&M, which right, like you said, 2-win SEC champion, 2-loss SEC champion. If Georgia loses to Georgia Tech, and then wins their SEC championship, they're 3 seed. They knocked off the number 2 seed.
They're still getting a bye, but they're a 3 seed. They're not a 2 seed if they're a 2-loss champion.
We're arguing tomatoes and tomatoes here, so it doesn't really matter who the 2 seed is.
It probably doesn't. It would be more. There would be more on the line if they did the first 2 rounds on the site. I wish they would do the first 2 rounds and have the semifinals and the finals be the only games that are neutral site because you lose a lot not being on the college campuses. The ACC champion is pretty much a non-factor. Last thing that we need to talk about is who's going to represent the group of 5. Right now, it's between Tulane. South Florida just lost to Navy, so they're out. Conference USA has JMU, who, even though they've lost Kurt Signetti, they are still doing very good, and they're dominating. They're undefeated in their conference, but they do have a loss to Louisville early in the season. You know who else has a loss to Louisville? Miami does. So if you're looking at power of losses, whatever loss looks better, JMU has a better loss. Tulane, if they win out, it seems like the committee is going to go with the American over any other group of 5 conference. Do you think that's the right scenario, or should they go with the true, should it be record for the group of 5 champion, or should we have to evaluate who it is? Because right now there is they haven't said explicitly whether they're going to go based on conference record and conference championship, or if it's going to be based on some sort of criteria that they have yet to discuss. So what are you expecting the committee to do?
They'd be dumb not to do the conference champion.
No, it would. They'd both be conference champions. So JMU would win the Conference USA.
I haven't watched
Tulane would win the
lick
American.
of football from either of those 2 teams, so I'm not going to sit here and act like one deserves it more than the other.
I'm just saying, what are you thinking the committee is going to do? Because I don't think the committee watches very much football either.
I would do the strength of schedule, and that's how I would do it. How you do it with basketball in terms of the round of 64 and those last 4 teams in, and you look at strength of schedule, strength of wins, strength of losses, and I think that's the best way to do it, as opposed to I don't know. This team is playing better football right now.
There's something to be said about being streaky, and also what's going against JMU, and I think why they were left out because they weren't ranked at all in the most recent college football playoff top 25. They weren't ranked because their quarterback was hurt at the end of last season, and he's battling back from an ACL. They have a very interesting offensive strategy right now, where if they're throwing the football, their normal quarterback who's coming off the ACL injury is in. If they need to run the football with the quarterback, another quarterback's coming in. He's starting to run a little bit more, but it's you can do that against Conference USA teams. If you do that against Georgia, when they put the running quarterback in, they're going to be 11 guys in the box.
If you do
he better be able to throw it a little bit.
I mean, Tulane, the ACC champion and the other 5th conference champion will be the 11 and 12 seed, and they're going to face the SEC championship loser, and they're going to face the Big Ten championship loser, and it's going to be a nightmare scenario.
Kurt Signetti might finally get to say that he's won a playoff game. We won a big-time ranked matchup. We won our first-round playoff game against the 12 seed, who just so happened to be a 3-loss Tulane team because, the committee favors the American Conference over the other group of 5.
That was Penn State playing against SMU. Literally, that was that whole conversation. It was like, oh, Penn State, it's not a big game. It's SMU. They're just going to overrun them, and they did that.
They did. Before we move on, because I'm kind of holding you off because it's going to be a long one. I've told you we can go as long as we need to for the next segment. Any other thoughts on college football as it's winding down? I know that you're watching the big games, but you're not watching as many games as are available. But are you excited about possible more expansion, or do you think right now they just need to we still have a lot to figure out with this 12-team bracket?
This 12-team bracket, I think, is perfect. I think we're getting into too many scenarios, and no offense to a 16-team playoff, like you're watering down the product a little bit. Like these games mean less at the end of the year. Like no offense to the
Clemson, South Carolina,
Clemson,
which means absolutely nothing this weekend
Like,
besides state pride.
There's a lot of games this weekend and next weekend that just don't mean anything because of the 12-team playoff. And if you advance it to 16, it's going to water it down even more, because now an Alabama team, who cares if that last week lost? Now they're shitting their brain, now shitting their pants, being like, oh, are we going to stay in? Are we going to make it now? What's going to happen? As opposed to they lose that game last week. Who cares? Right? It doesn't really matter. And that's the way college football has gone, unfortunately. So
college football is chasing that money right now. And right now they think there's money in a 16-team playoff. I think that you're more correct on the side that it's probably going to be worse games in the first 2 rounds. If they do 16, then I would be happy, because you'd get the 2 rounds at the home school that I want, but it's going to be bad games. It's like you remember playing in the high school playoffs where they take 32 teams in, and that first round game is a glorified bye.
Well, there's going to be an argument about the 12-5 if it's a blowout again this year again, right? Yeah. Like that's going to be another argument if it's even a blowout, and you're going to expand it 4 more teams, and that's as bad as the game as you're going to get. I don't know.
Might actually start seeing video game scores of like 77-0 and stuff like that. There was a 77-0 game in the first round of the Colorado high school state football playoffs.
This 12-team playoff is built, or 16-team playoff is built perfectly for 4 evenly power conferences. Because you have so many teams beating each other, so many different things, and games still matter, right? When you have 2 major conferences where everybody else is playing second fiddle, then the 12-team is the way to go, because if you go 16 teams, it's going to be 5 SEC teams. It's going to be 5 Big Ten teams, and then everybody else. Like that's then the product is already watered down.
All right. I've held them off, ladies and gentlemen, but let's go ahead and talk about them. They're our title of this week. The Broncos, 9-2, first place in the AFC, and firmly in grasp of the AFC West.
I had to throw that in.
It was a perfect weekend because the Raiders got their asses kicked on Monday night. Everybody got to watch it. You beat the Chiefs. The Chargers got their asses kicked by Jacksonville. People probably didn't see that game, but that was a beatdown. There was a roughing the passer penalty. Not only is Justin Herbert got no offensive line in front of him, the people who hit him now, he's 6'6". When you hit him underneath his chin, that's a big hit. He got whacked a few times, and there's no help for him, and there's no help coming, because you're not going to pull an offensive lineman off the street and help you out right now.
No, they're not. They cannot trade for anybody either. But none of that bullshit. Let's talk about the best team in football. Not just the best team in the AFC West. Not just the number 1 seed in the AFC. It is the number 1 overall seed. Number 1 overall seed in the NFL, by the way. For those that don't know, the other number 1 seed in the NFC is who? The Philadelphia Eagles, which, by the way, we have the tiebreaker over, for those that forgot about that. The number 1 team in the NFL, the Denver fucking Broncos. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look. We talked. We didn't talk last week. We obviously had that Raiders kerfuffle 2 weeks ago, where it was like, this is an ugly win. Didn't play well. Offense didn't play well.
They don't play to lower competition very well. They play very well up to their competition. They do not play down.
They play to their competition. That's the thing.
They play
down. They play.
They don't ever play themselves. No. They play whoever's on the field with them. And when that's the Raiders,
good, sometimes shit. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. But guess what?
We're going to lose Al Michaels on one of these Thursday night games.
This team finds ways to win. This team finds ways to win. Bo Nix, for all the hate he gets, for all the slander he gets, there's one thing you can't tell him he isn't. And that's he's a winner. He is an absolute winner. The dude knows how to win football games. When the cards are stacked against him, when Travis Kelce does the ear thing to the crowd after scoring his first touchdown of the game, after all this Chiefs fans and blah, blah, blah goes on, he drives down the field, picks up a 3rd and 15 again, goes down the field, sets the team up for a game-winning field goal, and the Broncos, who were, I believe we were below 500 in one-score games last year. I don't know the statistic, but we are 5-1 in one possession games. This team is special. And by the way, we talked about 3 weeks ago. If the Broncos can go 2-1 these next 3 weeks without Pat Surtain before the bye week, we'd be ecstatic. Be ecstatic. That means you obviously wanted to beat the Raiders. You obviously were hoping to beat one of Kansas City / Houston without your best football player. I don't think there's an argument of who your best player on your team is. It's still Pat Surtain. Without your best player on your team last 3 weeks, you run the table. I understand it's 3 ugly wins. It's 3 football wins.
The Chiefs win is the one that looked the best, to be honest with you.
It's 3 wins that this team is continuing to find ways to beat everybody. And all the comparisons to the 2015, 2016 Denver Broncos, I think are very fair. Because, like I said, the preseason, this defense is Super Bowl champion worthy. I said that. Super Bowl champion worthy. We are realizing that. Because this defense is the best defense of football the last 3 weeks, and it didn't have its best player. Crazy to think about. Dre Greenlaw, unbelievable. Hufanga, incredible. Jaquan McMillan is averaging 2 sacks per game and an interception. And he's your nickel corner, right? I understand there's flaws in this defense. You still have the best player coming for you, right? So you have a Super Bowl favorite defense. Plain and simple. 2015, we had a Super Bowl favorite defense. Offense, really shitty at times. Really shitty. There was games where I sat there and watched Brock Osweiler sling the ball around and be like, damn, this sucks. Why can't we? We just need to run the ball. Get the ball to C.J. Anderson. Just get the ball to DT and Emmanuel's on slants. Be smart about it. And guess what? That team found a way to win. Continue to find ways to win. What is this offense doing? Playing some bad games. But when they need it, finding a way to win. That's how you win Super Bowls, ladies and gentlemen. You have the best. You look at the last 10 Super Bowl champions, right? The best defense won. Majority of those. Best defense. Philly, best defense, right? Kansas City, who did they beat? San Francisco. San Francisco had the better defense. I would guess 8 out of the last 10 Super Bowl champions had the better defense.
All the ones except the Chiefs won. So,
Chiefs
7
won,
out of the last 10.
7 out of the last 10 have had the best defense. And now you're in a situation where that stadium was rocking. I wasn't there for that game. I just got home when the game started, and I was listening to it. I was like, damn, so this is what it sounds like? Meaningful football back in Colorado. Jimmy, I don't know if you're aware of this. You are aware of this. We haven't had snow in Colorado yet.
No.
We have not had snow. The sun shines a little brighter when the Broncos are winning football games here. It's a little weird. You know who has snow this already? Hawaii. For those that are keeping track, Hawaii had their first snow of the winter before we did. The sun shines a little brighter when the orange and blue are running hot, and they are as hot as anybody in football. And I will put that against everybody.
And it's been done through controversy and adversity. The players were very outspoken. They did not like the way that they were talked about after the Raiders game. I don't care what they do or don't want anybody to say because it's part of their job. The reason why they get paid as much as they do is to take criticism, and when it's rightfully earned, you should be criticized. But they bounce back. They're doing it without a running game because the Chiefs game, RJ Harvey is a good gadget back right now. He's not ready to be a number 1 running back.
Before you go back to that, yes, they deserve to be criticized, but they also have earned the right to say, fuck you, Dragon Slayer 69. You're wrong. We're winning football games.
Niko, if you're making tens of millions of dollars, you should not give a shit what Dragon Slayer 69 says about you.
Exactly. But you want to
then don't talk about it. Here's my thing. If you're going to talk
8 in a row.
If you're going to talk about it,
if
you're going to talk about it, don't be a little baby before and say, "Oh, we don't hear anything. I don't talk. Blockers. I don't look at social media." BS. The way that you guys talked, that's all you did. You probably posted whatever comment that got under your skin most up on the bulletin board. Just be honest.
Everybody fucking does that.
Be honest.
Don't act like we're the only team that fucking does that.
I'm not saying that
you're acting like this team can't build bulletin board material. There's only one person that said this. It's Sean Payton. Let's be honest with ourselves. Everybody else in the team doesn't say much. We don't have a guy that goes on social media a ton. Adam Troutman, I guarantee you, half of the listeners on this show did not hear him talk about Dragon Slayer 69. Because we live in the state of Colorado, because we listen to the radio shows here, we know about that. Fact. That's a fact.
We're at the point of
That's
the
a fact.
podcast where there's going to be orange and blue tint all over this thing, and any criticism, whether it's warranted or unwarranted, is going to be met with hostility. And I appreciate that because you're
right.
You have
There is good reasons why you should be critical of this team, but we can't criticize an 8 wins in a row, wins over the last 2 Super Bowl champions. By the way, the last 2 Super Bowl champions, and a run where you have not had your best football player in your team, and you go 3-0. That's what you can't criticize. Not one part of that you can criticize.
Well, what I want to talk about is who is more impactful when they're not on the field. Is it Pat Surtain or is it J.K. Dobbins? Because the defense has looked pretty decent in the absence of Pat Surtain, but the offense, they were winning those ugly games with the running game. And they're not always going to be able to run the bubble screens and do the things that they were able to do to kind of facilitate a, quote, running game. And they didn't run the ball worth a shit. But they did the other things to get the short yardage and to keep setting themselves up in 3rd and short. You can't do that most of the time if you don't have a running back that can run between the tackles, and they don't. Like, yes, I know that he loves Jaleel, but he just doesn't give him enough carries. He should be the one that's getting all of him or Bidet, because we know that RJ is just a gadget guy. And if he's not seeing that, or if that's going to continue to be the plan with him, is to keep trying to run him up the middle where he's not good, then we're going to start seeing him lose some confidence because he's not going to get those big plays and break those big runs.
Look, to counter your point, Pat Surtain is more impactful. I've watched Riley Moss nearly throw away 5 football games this year on pass interference, okay, on number 1 receivers, okay? So there's your answer on that, okay? J.K. Dobbins is more impactful to this team at the time being because the offense is struggling. And when you have as good, like the impact J.K. Dobbins had on this team, because he's out for the season, had on this team was more impactful because your offense was struggling so much. Pat Surtain is the best player on this team still, and still makes a huge impact, but the team can make up for those mistakes. Like I said, this defense is so good, it makes up for those mistakes. When you add Surtain to the fix, it just makes it better. But with Dobbins being out, this is where this is where I think we saw a huge gain in the system this past weekend was Marvin Mims returning back into the football game, because Mims has been lined up in the backfield as a running back, been lined up in the slot, lined up as a kick returner. He is the best. He is one of the best, probably, or if not the best, kick returner in football. He ran off an 80-yard run. That's a guy that I expect to see out of the backfield a lot more. I'll be honest with you. I expect to see some more touches there. It's when Dobbins was in the fold, it was more of the Dobbins show with Harvey and Bidet as the pretty options basically. But now I think you're going to see more, even more now, of running back by committee. I think they have 4 guys, which I think you told Mims in this conversation too. You'll have 4 guys in Bidet, Jaleel, and Harvey, and then Marvin and Mims, and you'll see who's got who's got it. Who's got it? Who doesn't have it? And I think each running back has its own positives and negatives in a sense, and not one running back is better than the rest, to be honest with you. RJ Harvey might have a slight edge over the other 3, but it's still like you're going to have a running back by committee. But what I've seen and what's really helped this team this past weekend, because like I said, we didn't have Dobbins this past weekend, was the confidence of Bo using Pat Bryant, the confidence of Bo using Troy Franklin. Because one thing that we realized the last 3-4 games is that Cortland Sutton is not getting his looks. It's not his fault. He's getting keyed on. They're begging Bo Nix to throw the ball to somebody else. And he has been. And has been very, very successful with it. That's why an underrated signing, and one that I don't know if it's going to do much, but it'll probably be a little bit better. You bring back Lil Jordan Humphrey. And I think that, and look, Trent Sherfield was there for special teams, and he wasn't even that good as special teamers. So you bring back Jordan Humphrey, a guy that Bo Nix has a little bit comfortability with, catching footballs. He could have a game or so where he's making a big catch too down the stretch. So this offense is slowly figuring it out, and that's what people are why people are up in arms over Bo Nix, and why is he not throwing for 500 yards and 3 touchdowns a game? The man is finding ways to win football games. Like he is a second-year quarterback. What have we always said? Second-year quarterbacks probably have the most difficult time, because everyone starts getting tape on you, start figuring out more. The sophomore slump is a real thing. And you look at what Drake May, and you look at what Bo Nix have done, and they have used their weapons, they used what their team's identity is consistently, and that's the Broncos being a good defensive team, and the Patriots being able to run the football, and you play to your strengths, and that's what Bo Nix has done, and that's why this team is 9-2.
There was an interesting question brought up that I was listening to earlier today. As the team stands now, do you think that if they could go back to draft night and know that this is going to happen, do they continue with what they did and draft Jade in the first round, or do we see them be maybe more aggressive and try and get a tight end that they wanted, whether it's Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren? They would have had to move in order to do those things, but knowing that J.K. Dobbins was going to be the heartbeat of your team, that was going to be like your plan A at running back, and putting plan A in a guy who's never finished the season is not good. Do you think that the Broncos and George Paton and Sean Payton would have made a different choice in the first round given what they know now?
Well, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Let's look at who was available at that time, right? Marion Hampton had a couple good games. Out
Travion Henderson.
Travion Harrison, really shitty start to the season. Really, really good back half. Quinshon Judkins missed the first 5 games, right? Obviously, he's been doing better now, but struggling, right? Harvey was the next guy taken. He's right. And look, I understand Harvey's not. And look, Gentry's had a great year, but he's not like Superman levels. And look, Warren has been fantastic. Colston Loveland, fantastic. Both those guys would have been excellent Broncos. Both those guys were off 7 picks before we drafted. And with how people were drafting those 2 guys, it would have been almost impossible to get both those guys.
Okay, so then
the guy that I believe was going to be a Bronco if he was not drafted 1 pick before was Emeka Egbuka. That could have been your Pat Bryant replacement, where you have a real number 1 and number 2 guy, because Egbuka would have been, I think, perfect mold into this team.
So you do think that if they could, they would have tried to get some sort of offensive weapon, because knowing that was the weakness of the team. What they did wasn't bad, but they also didn't know that Jaquan was going to be what Jaquan is. I know that he's been good, but nobody expected this good out of him.
I think McMillan has been great the last couple of years. He
was a guy that they were going to move away from because he's on the last year of his contract. I think he's going to get a small extension and be able to move forward.
Well, I mean, the rumors of what I'm hearing is that Jahdae Barron is going to be an outside corner eventually, which I guess remains to be seen. But Jaquan McMillan has been great.
That sucked that they took away his pick 6. That was a great play.
It's ridiculous. I think this team is. Would it have been better with Egbuka as opposed to Barron? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's not lying to you. Would this team have been better with Marion Hampton? I don't think so. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Marion Hampton would have maybe given you 2 games. Like, J.K. Dobbins has been the guy. And I think that's a couple of different things. One, he's used to having a high production and high physicality. And rookie running backs, it really takes them a while. Like, look at this class, right? Gentry has had a couple good games, but he has struggled mightily because obviously the Raiders suck. Marion Hampton gets injured, out for the last 4 games, right? Henderson had a horrible start to the year. He's finally coming on, getting hot at the right time, right? Like rookie running backs, it is a tough position to grow into in the NFL. And that's why I say like Egbuka was the guy, because I think that they thought Egbuka was going to fall to them. And I think they if you look at the asking price of what it was to jump, look at who was the team that jumped? It was Atlanta? I think it was Atlanta that jumped up to get the pass rusher.
No, it was the Jaguars who jumped up to get Travis Hunter.
No, there was somebody that the Rams have their first round pick who's a top 10 The Rams traded up, I'm pretty sure, to 15, or the Rams were at 15 and they traded down, and the Falcons went up and got a pass rusher. Now the Rams own their top 10 pick right now, and are one of the best teams in the NFL as well. And that was a first round pick next year and another second. That's a heavy price to pay. And I understand Barron has not been great, and frankly, he hasn't not been great. He hasn't just not really gotten the opportunities.
It just doesn't have to be used. And I think so my stance on it is what they did was fine, and this team doesn't have any major issues because of what they did in the draft. Like, Sean Payton and George Paton don't need to be talked about as missing. But I do think if you take Travion Henderson and put him in the situation that you put RJ Harvey in, he's probably a bit ahead of him. especially with
Absolutely.
running
I
between the
agree.
tackles.
I agree. Henderson, like I said, Henderson was the guy I wanted. Like out of that draft,
I didn't
that's
realize
the
he was
guy
that
we picked up.
fast. He
Oh,
never really showed off that speed. I guess he did a couple times. There's a couple screen passes, but he was more of like the short yardage guy at Ohio State. And Judkins was the big playback.
He had closing speed, and I think like this is why we don't sit in those rooms is the grid you have on guys. Obviously, they didn't feel like they had a first round grade on Henderson, and they had a top 10 grade on Jade Barron and being the most natural cornerback in this draft class, and so that's why they felt like they couldn't miss him because they knew the McMillan and the Riley Moss contracts are coming up, and it's hard. It's going to be harder to replace guys on defense as opposed to offense where you can get veterans like J.K. Dobbins, for instance, but obviously it didn't pan out for you.
Last thing about the Broncos before we move on and talk some basketball and hockey. We'll get back into NFL when we get to our Week 12 picks. What is your favorite thing about the Broncos and the least favorite thing about the Broncos currently sitting at 9-2 with the bye week?
Well, I mean, the least favorite team is the inconsistency. Like I said, this team can lose to anybody as well as beat anybody. That's the fun part, and the bad part. It's like I have as much confidence in us beating the Chiefs as us losing to the Raiders, and that sucks. That's tough because it's annoying because you're such a good football team. Just do the right things every single week. Like we have not played a complete game since the Cowboys and since the Bengals. Those are the only two complete games we've had on this entire season. Outside of that, we've played down to our competition and played up to our competition. That's plain and simple. So that's probably my biggest worry and least favorite thing. My favorite thing is that this team is telling everyone to shut the fuck up and start watching this team, because it's ridiculous that this team now has a stranglehold on the AFC West and they're not getting the respect they deserve. A stranglehold. It will take the Chiefs are we mathematically made the Chiefs very, very hard, very difficult to make the playoffs. The playoffs will not be in red. No, we will see.
They'll be on the road every single week.
They will be on the road every single fucking week. That means they'll be going to Buffalo. They'll have to go to New England possibly. They'll have to go to Houston. They'll have to go to Denver. That's because of fucking us. Let me remind you all that. So all you Buffalo fans, all you New England fans, all you Colts fans, thank us, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ, we're the reason why Mahomes is going on the fucking road in the playoffs if they make it. So thank you. Tell me a thank you, Jimmy. Give me a thank you, for fuck's sake, because thank God we did it for you guys.
Oh, I'm part of you, too. I'm part of the Broncos fan base. I'm a Bengals fan otherwise, and the Bengals have nothing to say about anything. I don't care if the Chiefs make the playoffs or not, because guess what? My team ain't good enough to get there. Really, really not good enough. If we're going to talk about the Bengals very quickly, it went to shit really fast. Putting your faith in a 41-year-old quarterback, not good.
You better pray to God Zach Taylor's not coaching for his job and makes Joe Burrow jump on the field before he's physically able to.
Let's use Jamar Chase's new talents that we learned about from last weekend, and let's spit on that Zach Taylor contract. Let's practice, aim, spit on that Zach Taylor contract, and then burn it, rip it up, never sign that guy again,
and then totally deny it.
Well, yeah, that's
totally deny it.
Am I doing this? Did somebody see that? It's like those the Allstate commercials. I checked Allstate and saved $500 on my car insurance. I should have checked whether or not anybody was looking at the Jumbotron when I stole candy from a kid. Was it worth it? No, it wasn't worth it. It's not worth it. Let's talk some basketball. What are we seeing out of the NBA? I know that it's early, but you were locked in, especially on the Nuggets that we talked about. You said that they already had their first home loss of the new season. They're playing right now, really banged up, and some guys are taking longer to gel with the team than others. And we talked about it the last time that we were talking about the Nuggets starting their season. What is the diagnosis up until this point? Are we still thinking, NBA championship contention once everybody's back, or where are we sitting with the Denver Nuggets?
Yes, just flat out yes. Like yes, we are. Look, I will state this very, very clear. There is a 2-team race for the NBA championship right now. The Nuggets are on pace for 60 wins right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder is on pace for 70. Okay, like that's how good these two teams are. The number one offense in the league is the Denver Nuggets. The number two offense in the league is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The number one defense in the NBA is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 3 defense in the NBA is the Denver Nuggets. there is 50 feet of crap below these two teams. It is and look, the Thunder even haven't even had their quote unquote second best player in Jalen Williams back yet. He hasn't even been playing games, and they're killing everybody. This, I know people are like, Cam Johnson this, Cam Johnson that. Cam Johnson is doing the things that he needs to do to win basketball games. Plain and simple, he's doing the things to do to win basketball games. Like it is blasphemous and just crazy. People like Cam Johnson. What did you bring him in for? You brought him in to be the KCP role and to try to slowly grow into more. He was not brought in to be that third option. He was brought in to be the fourth option. Some nights be the third option, right? And because AG is the third option, and you have Jamal and obviously Jokic. And a guy that's playing the fourth option, he's only getting 4 or 5 shots up per game. That's going to slow the numbers down. Right, like you're running into a situation now where obviously Christian Brown is out for, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks. This is Cam Johnson's time to get in the rhythm. This is absolutely time for Cam Johnson to get in the rhythm. He's going to get more shots up, going to get more chances. And you look at that Monday night game against Chicago, he really started getting into his form. Had 18 points, got going a little bit more. That's the Cam Johnson I was expecting more, right? And we are not even a quarter of the way through the season, and we're still figuring things out slowly, and that's a good thing to have while you're winning basketball games. So, like I said, the additions to this team, and look, I understand MPJ's doing great things in Brooklyn, and I'm happy for him. But let's be honest, Brooklyn still has only won 2 games.
And he's
They're horrible.
the number one and probably number 2 option on Brooklyn. He is main point.
He says, I see ball, I shoot ball. That was already a lot here. He did that a lot here.
Yeah.
Times that by 10 on one of the worst teams in basketball, it's a different world. It's a different world. He is like here, he would, if he saw an open shot, but Jokic is open in the paint, he's passing the ball. It doesn't matter if God himself is sitting in the paint and MPJ has a contested 3, he's taking that shot. Okay? He's taking that shot. But I think that this team and what I've seen from Tim Hardaway, which by the way, Tim Hardaway, oh my gosh, this dude has been incredible. He's, like I said, he's been a J.R. Smith, a flame shooter from 3-point, dropping 15 to 20 a night from your 6th man. Been incredible. Big Val. Jokic has already played a quarter and a half less of basketball to this point of the season than last year. That is a lot of time. And we are
even more efficient. He's doing the same thing in 33 minutes.
He's doing stupider things. It's getting stupider. It's like, and I wanted to say this to the end, but I have to talk about it now. We have opposing fan bases saying that they're fidgeting statistics. Seriously, there are people in California, which you can probably guess which ones, the ones that we own. There are people in Milwaukee. There are people in Oklahoma City that think that we are adding statistics to this man's game because he cannot be putting up these stupid numbers.
Go watch the tape.
This isn't fucking Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. You can watch the game. You can physically watch the assist, the pass, the rebound, the everything. You can physically see everything.
The big honeypot.
It's funny. It's just so funny when I see MVP rankings at the beginning of the season. 2 weeks in, MVP rankings. Jokic is not even top 5. And I was like, interesting. I was like, are you not watching? Are you that numb already to it? A week later, Jokic drops 55, 18, and 6 against the Clippers.
I'm watching now. Trust me, I'm watching now.
Shoot, that guy's still there. Shoot. He's doing stupid things over there. That's
I'm sorry, Jokic. Mr. Jokic, sure. I'm sorry. I'll put you back on the list.
He's shooting 80% from the field from 2-point range. I'm sorry, hold on. For those that didn't hear that statistic, let me repeat that. Jokic is shooting 78% to be exact. I like to round up to 80 because this is a nice round number. Shooting 78% from the 2-point range.
That's good.
78.
That's good. That's real good.
Very, very good. His shooting percentage is above 65 right now. That's including 3-pointers. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid.
And he's not just a free throw merchant, by the way. He's shooting how many free throws? Like maybe
5 to 6 a game at max. It's fucking stupid. It's literally stupid. I say I have to watch this man every night. I years past, I've been I can miss the Nuggets games tonight, see what's going on. I have every single fucking game on because I'm like, what is this dude gonna do next? I legit, I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right, what does he want to do tonight? Okay, they don't have a center. Let's try to get 20 rebounds tonight. Oh, they have a really good defensive center. Let's try to get 15 assists tonight. He picks and chooses what he wants to do to you.
He's the definition of I can turn it off and on whenever I want. And I'm probably not going to turn it off until we're ahead by 30 and they take me off the floor, put me on bench. But now I have Big Val to back me up and everything just very easy cakewalk now. Thank you.
Jimmy,
very easy.
I can't emphasize enough. There are opposing fan bases accusing Altitude Sports and Kroenke for fidgeting numbers.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem real.
And for those of you that want to say that's something they're doing, you remember when Nathan McKinnon was about to be the only person besides Gretzky to score a point in every single game? And they went back, they gave it to him in the game. They went back, watched the tape, and maybe the puck didn't touch his stick, and they took it away from him, and they took away the historic season. So they don't do this to inflate their own guys' egos.
No. I cannot emphasize enough what I'm watching. Because like in reality, because we can segue this now to the Avs. There is not a better sports town in America. There's not. There's straight up not. There's not. Like there is not one. Like name me one sports city that has 3 teams that are number 1 or number 2 in their sport.
It's impossible.
Nuggets are number 1 or number 2 record in the NBA. The Avs have the best record in hockey, and the Broncos have the best record in football. There is not Boston, not Chicago, not New York, not Florida, not Texas,
not Detroit,
not LA, not one sport, not one city, not one major sports city has 3 teams as good as we do right now.
No. It is something to behold, and it's done in a way that's such like we have to cause drama, and there has to be some sort of debate every single time. I feel like it's ridiculous. I know that they just re-signed him, and I would ride the hot hand and do what Bedsy's been doing. What Coach Bednar, he's like, I'm not at this point. Blackie's missed too much of the season. Wedgewood's gotten too hot, and he's riding. I'm going to ride him until the wheels fall off. Once he has his bad game that proves why he's been a career backup and he's only worth the $2.5 million extension that we signed him to, then we can start to integrate Blackie back in. But for right now, you're the number 2, he's the number 1. And this is a good lesson for them to learn because in playoff runs, this can happen too. A guy goes down and the backup has to step in. Like think of all those Pittsburgh teams. Fleury was the starter at the beginning. Matt Murray came back in, or vice versa. One of the 2 always started. The other one came in and won games, got them to the next series. And then by the end of it, the normal starter was the guy who finished things off. I still think Blackwood is worth all of the money that we're paying him. He is still the number 1 goalie.
He's still the number 1 goalie. And that's we don't win a cup without Franco.
No.
We don't win a cup without Franco.
Darcy had one eye.
Yeah, we don't win a cup without Frankie, and it's a great problem to have. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the breakdown he had on TNT?
Yes.
Scott Wedgewood, unreal.
He could probably. There's the scariest part. He could probably do that in the midst of the game. If they put a microphone into his helmet, he's probably sitting there like. Because those of you that don't watch Altitude Sports like Niko and I, that was on TNT. So turn on hockey when it's on TNT because it's a great sport to learn and it's always going on. It fills the gaps between football and the rest of the year. He's like, well, they got 21 coming down. I know he's a right-handed shot, so I'm going to put myself here and I'm going to watch him as he goes. And I told the defender before the game, since he's a right-handed shot, I want him to go to this point in the ice, and he's doing that. So I'm good here. I don't have to move.
He's memorizing lines.
Yes,
and being like, you know what? Okay, this line has 2 lefties, 1 righty. Okay, this power play has this amount of guys. So I know if I know this guy's on this side of the ice, I don't have a one-timer on the backside I have to worry about. Like, and I can overplay things. It's incredible in-depth like nerd shit that we love about sports.
Oh, it's
I know
nerdy
you and
as
I
all
love.
Get out.
It's nerdy as hell, but it's awesome that you and I are like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Heck yeah, I like that. So Wedge's been awesome. He's been great, and like I said, until Blackwood is fully healthy, and until Wedgie basically like gets cold, because there will be a cold streak eventually, because this team is riding way too red hot at the moment. Then you can start integrating Blackwood back and getting him back to that one G back.
I'm going to play the video just because I think that it's worth seeing. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is my one and only, not one and only because I've done it a couple times, but this is a plug for our YouTube channel because then you'll be able to see this and watch this as it goes. If it'll add to the stage, there we go. No, I took it off. Here we go. Wedgewood talking about his breakdown of all the lines on TNT.
The part of the question I have that I wanted to ask you is, what's easier for you, games or practices? Because you guys have so many skilled players on your team, you face every single day in practice.
Yeah, it's actually one thing I asked our video coach to do when I got here. They'd put up like a lineup card and just have a little bit of a, not a rap sheet, but just like a few points on each guy. And I just asked them to add every hand to their names. If you got Carlson's lefty, Cutter Garcia's a lefty, Truba's a right, like whatever the number is and who it is, and then I look at that sheet and kind of try and memorize their lines and deep pairings, and you don't get it perfect, obviously on rush.
I'm gonna cut it there just to make sure that we don't get any kind of copyright or anything like that. But it's you're not just out there watching where the puck goes. They actually maneuver themselves and put themselves in specific places to make sure that they don't have to work that hard. They're trying to work as little as possible because the goaltender is the only one who gets 60+ minutes of ice time.
I mean, like Wedgewood was like never a top prospect, never like a uber just like talent over the top, flash. He has to be smarter than everybody else, and as a goaltender, you could do one thing. One, you could be just physically talented, and just the cat eye instincts of the best, right? The best of the best. Or you could be unbelievably smart, where you see angles, you see where things are coming, you could dialect how everything's going to come at you and stop the puck before it even gets shot. And that's what Wedgewood has done, and he's been incredible. It's crazy that he's on his fifth team now. He's been around for a while now as a backup, and now like I said, he has inconsistencies. There's no doubt about it. But when you put in front of him some of the best defenders in the league, and McCarr, Taves, Bernsey, and Malinsky, like it helps his confidence and whereabouts so much more.
So besides the goalie controversy, the other controversy surrounding the Avalanche has been the power play. We talked about it. Ron Hextall was brought in. The power play coach from last season was the scapegoat, and Hextall was brought in. It started off really slow, but it seems like it's catching its footing. We saw a couple power play goals when we were at the game last weekend. Are we comfortable with where the power play is, or do we still need to see more before we're truly looking at this thing like we did back in 2022? Like who in their right mind is going to be able to stand up to this team? Because you're going to have to trip somebody at some point, and then when they go on the power play, it's an automatic goal. So are we there, or do we still need more?
I don't think we're there yet. I think you'd like to see more consistency in terms of the numbers before you say this team is going to score on you every single time you make a mistake. Obviously, you want to get to that point. I think this team obviously has the talent to get to that point. I think it's still like missing. I think maybe it's the whereabouts on the ice and figuring out a new system and going about the power play in Hextall's system that changes things. But like I said, you've already seen improvements from game one up till now, and that's what you want to see. And like I said, they're only going to get healthier and healthier and going to get better and better. So it's the upward slope you want to see, as opposed to the stagnant, like very shit. Like it started bad, but slowly getting there, slowly getting to where you want to be.
Last thing before we get back into the NFL and talk about our picks for Week 12 coming up, I just thought of this one, so I'll throw it up on the screen. If you want to chime in, you can do so on the comments. You can tweet at us at FEOTBpod. Nathan MacKinnon and Nikola Jokic are both playing at incredible levels right now. Who will be Denver's MVP? And don't throw Bo Nix out there now.
No. I would have done Surtain if I would have done.
Okay, that makes more sense. Oh, Bonito,
possibly. Look, all kudos to everyone on the Broncos. They don't have Surtain's been injured and they've been winning games, so I don't think a Bronco deserves to be in the conversation. I love McKinnon. I love McKinnon.
I knew this was going to go this way.
He's not the best player in the world. He has an argument. He has an argument for being the best player in the world. I'll say that. He has an argument. But McDavid on a good night is still the best player in the world, right? But McKinnon is in the conversation. Jokic is separating himself from everybody. His plus, I understand McKinnon is this world star player, unbelievable, right? Look at Jokic's plus minus.
It's ridiculous.
We are outscoring opponents by 47 points when he's on the floor. 47. That's stupid. Like I love McKinnon. You know I do. I can't. This is not a slight to McKinnon at all. I want to preface that by so much. We have, because I think we can have this conversation in the offseason. Because I think this is a good conversation to have. We may have the greatest athlete that's ever played in Denver, playing right now for the Denver Nuggets. Elway was the conversation is Elway and Jokic. I'm serious. Like you can throw Sakic in the conversation too, but I think Jokic has already surpassed Sakic. And maybe Wah you can throw in there too. I think he surpassed Wah.
Yeah, and,
it's close.
Who was the Swede? And now Peter Forsberg.
Forsberg. Like I think he's past Forsberg. I think he's past Sakic. I think Wah, Elway, and it's Jokic because Wah was the number one goaltender, arguably still the best goaltender of all time. Elway during his time was the best quarterback in the world, right? Obviously, years later, he's top 5, roughly, like maybe easily top 10, but top 5 fringe, right? Jokic is fucking top 5 argument of all time players at this point and what he's doing.
It's to me, I still would put the others just because they won one more championship. But if things work out the way that we think, I think that is
championship. I will.
Jokic with one more is no doubter. That one's going out at 450 exit velo. That one's not coming back. That's no doubter.
There is a serious conversation I'm having with my girlfriend about my first kid being named Nikola. Like that's where I'm at in my life. Okay, like
not Nikolai. You're not named after me.
No, we're naming him after our king.
I'm German and Italian, but you're named after a Serbian.
I want to go to Serbia because of this motherfucker, Jimmy. I couldn't put Serbia on a map. I know. I couldn't put Serbia on a map before I knew who this guy was, okay? And now I want to go to Serbia. I want to see a Serbian basketball game. Now I want to go see horse racing. Now my whole life has changed because of this man.
This is why Niko's starting to speak with a little bit more of an Eastern European dialect. It's very good, very good. Basketball is job, but I love the horse.
Like I said, I want to have this conversation during the offseason because after this season, maybe we're talking about Jokic having another championship because I think it's a real conversation to be had. Like, I love McKinnon. I love Surtain. I love
if both of them win another. If both of them win another, does that put McKinnon in the Denver Mount Rushmore?
I would see that's a tough conversation because both Sakic and Wall both won 2 as well.
Yeah,
and I think because
I think Sakic and Forsberg and Wall I think all won more league like award trophies too.
Awards too. I think the conversation when you talk about Mount Rushmores of cities, I think you have to be the best player your team has ever had. I think Jokic is already that for us. I don't think there's a conversation for that. He is already the best Nugget of all time. I think Elway probably is the greatest Bronco of all time. There's a chance that you could argue Terrell Davis, to argue Radishar, argue Vaughn. You could argue those. But John Elway is the greatest quarterback, homegrown talent. Obviously, Peyton was great, but he wasn't ours.
It's still ironic that he's not drafted here. That's the
exactly. But he
craziest thing about that all.
Fans still lives here and loves us more. I think that those are easily on the top there. Where it becomes tricky because I'm not putting a Rocky on there. I love Todd Helton. He did nothing compared to what these
didn't even ever win a division title, Niko. They still have not won a division title.
So you can't even a Rocky like doesn't deserve to be on this Mount Rushmore. I think there should be obviously one ab no matter what. I think you could put Sakic on there because he was the captain, the leader, the championships, the MVPs, all of that. That fourth one is where things get interesting, where you could put Wah, where you could put maybe Makar, where you could put Peyton Manning, where you could put I think I'd put all of those before I put Melo, because that's the next nugget I would put there.
I don't think that the Nuggets get 2.
I agree. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree.
And I know there's a lot of people.
I would put all those before him. We were a shit organization before Jokic walked into the building. We're horrible.
Trust me. As a fan of a team in the NFL that's only got one Hall of Famer and years and years and years of existence, yeah, I get it. I know.
And then like I said, I think that fourth one has a conversation. I think it's between Manning, Wah, McKinnon, and Makar. Maybe Vaughn, Peyton, McKinnon, McCarr, and Waugh is for that 4th spot, if I were to guess.
Do we think that there's a possibility we get 2 MVPs? And maybe I'm making it unfair to make you choose against your children?
Well, I mean, we had 2 MVPs last year.
No, I mean like in the same exact season.
No, we did last year. McKinnon and
Jokic didn't win last year.
2 years. I thought it was 2 years ago. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought they were a year apart. I thought I think
I swear I thought we made an MVP City shirt.
I think the year
the same year.
The year McKinnon won it was the year that the Nuggets won the championship.
Let me look this up. I swear they did it both. Let me look up McKinnon because I know Jokic won it last year, or not last year, the year before. McKinnon,
as you're doing that, I'm going to set up our pick'em segment because I'll just introduce it. Niko's still winning. And this
I went 4-0. Great weekend. And I put some on.
You went 4-0.
He did win 23-24, and that was Jokic's last MVP. So he did win that. He did win that. So it was the same year.
So then let's get it again. That's all I just wanted to throw it out.
I still want. I don't want to say it, but I should say it because the acronym for it is horrible. The DP. Maybe TP.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe we go. I know that we're both superstitious, but there is something about manifesting. Maybe we can manifest it. Start manifesting it.
We manifested it for fucking 3 months and it didn't work out. And both teams lost 10 games in the span of 10 days. That
was before both of them won a title, though. That was at least before that. That was the shittiest situation of all time where we're talking like, yes, they both won game 3 and lost game 4, 5, 6. Oh, they're swept out of it. Nice.
Yeah, that was a rough time. And now we haven't lost a home game we've lost 1 home game in 3 months.
Yeah.
As a city.
It's different.
As a city.
It's 5. It's different, but it's also the same because as we're talking about our picks this week, we should also mention, I know that you've said it, but now it's even more true. All of the teams that were leading their division in the AFC in 2015, 2016, when the Broncos won the Super Bowl last, are the same exact teams. The Steelers, the Patriots, the Broncos, and now the Texans.
It's beautiful.
Time is a flat circle. We change, we get older, but everything stays the same.
I'm sorry. As a visual learner, I hate seeing so much red on my screen. Give me the orange and navy at nighttime. Give me the blue and Lucas Oil. Give me the midnight navy and New England. That's football.
I do like navy. I mean, I guess we were red for a long time, but I liked our blues more when we were in high school. And the blues make everybody's eyes pop. I want you to talk about your first pick, and then I have one. You'll find this funny because you've mentioned it a couple of times on the podcast. But talk about why you're choosing the Colts over the Chiefs.
Well, hold on. This backtracks into last week's. I picked the Broncos last week.
Did pick the Broncos last week.
For those that didn't see the graphic, I went 4-0 last week. I stood on business. I stood on business saying the Broncos are taking control of this division, and we did. So look, no offense to you. You went 3-1. You had a good weekend. I went 4-0. Okay, I got 5 games, 6 games, 5.5 games to lose here. So no offense. I'm gonna make a couple of risky errors here, and you'll see the first one and the last one are that. First one, let's bury the Chiefs even further. This team sucks. The Chiefs suck. Let me say that. The first time I've been able to say this on the show in 256 episodes, the Chiefs suck, and they. If the Colts can just give the ball to Jonathan Taylor 100 times and tell him to score 8 touchdowns, they're going to win this football game. Doesn't matter. There is not a Chiefs player out there that will be able to slow down Jonathan Taylor. Not one player.
It is a good matchup pick, especially for what the teams have looked like this year. But it is a little bit nerve-wracking because now you have – this is the first time – this is the longest into the season that the Chiefs are 5-5, even 500, since Alex Smith was the quarterback of the Chiefs. Absolutely. So under the Patrick Mahomes era, they are still Apollo. And my thing about this, because they were talking about whether or not you want the Chiefs to lose so that their playoff hopes are done, or do you want the Chiefs to beat the Colts because they're right there in the playoff number 1 seed hunt race with you, and they have the tiebreaker with their win and all that. I've turned it into a Rocky situation. I heard, Apollo, don't go for the knockout. You got it won. If they don't go for the knockout here, if they do what you're talking about, because the difference between the Broncos and the Colts is that the Colts were built running game first and then passing game. The Broncos were built in the opposite direction. The Chiefs are not as good as a run defense as what they showed last weekend in Denver.
Absolutely.
The Colts, if they do what they should do and run the ball on the road and take the crowd out of it, take the air out of the football, that is what they would need to do. And that is what I think, that's what I mean by don't go for the knockout. Don't try and make Daniel Jones out-duel Patrick Mahomes. Take where your strength is.
And this is a must-win for Kansas City. I cannot emphasize this enough. 10-7 may not get you in the playoffs.
I don't think it will this year.
And they have, and that means they have to win 5 out of their last 7.
Yeah.
You
and
lose.
If they
again,
lose this weekend, then they got to go undefeated the rest of the
they
way.
have to run the table to make the playoffs.
Yes.
Not win the division.
To just barely sneak in as a 6 or a 7
6 or 7 seed. Because they don't have, because look at the tiebreakers. They don't have a tiebreaker against Jacksonville. Nope. They don't have a tiebreaker against who's the other team that's right?
Us.
Buffalo.
They don't.
We're not in the wild card right now. We're at the top of the division. It's different. They don't have a tiebreaker over the Buffalo Bills. They don't have a tiebreaker over Jacksonville. And there's one other.
Did Baltimore play them?
No, it was somebody else. I can't remember.
I'll get it. Keep
They
going.
don't have a tiebreaker over 3 of those teams in the wild card position right now, and so they have to run the table because, like I said, it's going to. If they don't win this game, especially at home, and this is why I kind of put it on here because I think it's a chance to the Colts to put the nail in the coffin. Because this can end Travis Kelce's retirement season early.
They lost to the Chargers also.
Chargers. So there's your other one. You're right. So there's your other tiebreaker. Unless they obviously Chiefs play them again. But there's a chance that last game of the year, we have nothing to play for. Maybe it's the 1 seed. Maybe we have the 1 seed. Maybe we don't have the 1 seed locked up. And maybe we're just playing for just for shits and giggles. And the Chargers play the Broncos. And we do what the Broncos did to the Bengals. And the Chargers do what they do to us, what we did to the Chiefs. And that the Chiefs get out of the playoffs and the Chargers last team in because they win a nothing game at the end of the season. I would love nothing more. Love nothing.
I think that there's a ton of people in Denver that would love
that. And this is a game where people are like, oh, it's a win-win. Colts lose, we're the number 1 seed. I don't care what the Colts do. Keep the Chiefs out of the playoffs.
No, you want the boogeyman away.
I'm more worried about the Chiefs being in the playoffs than the Colts getting the 1 seed, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Even though the outcomes were opposite, where you lost to the Colts and beat the Chiefs, you probably felt more confident as a Broncos fan in that Colts game, even in Lucas Oil, and you were playing the Chiefs at home in front of a raucous crowd.
Yeah, so keep this team just out of the playoffs. My next two, I think are just pretty self-explanatory. Tyrod Taylor's in for the Jets. The Ravens are the hottest team in football. They're winning football games, and they're going to.
I think they're going to be the AFC North champions.
They're going to win this division. Plain and simple, they're going to win this division. So give me the Ravens and the Jets. The Lions. James Winston started last week for the Giants. For those that weren't paying attention, Skyboo's still out for the year. Neighbors is out for the year, and
Skyboo made a Monday Night Raw appearance at the Garden.
It was a great Monday Night Raw. Great, absolutely. Last week was better than this week, but great couple last episodes of John Cena's retirement tour.
I see Chip.
But give me Detroit over the Giants. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I think that Detroit gets back.
Give me a big weekend from Gibbs. Give me a 5-touchdown weekend from Gibbs.
You're not making the playoffs. You just
I don't give a shit about making the playoffs. I know what I am fighting for.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for seeding right now. You just got to get to the losers bracket, and then hopefully you guys cook it at the right time. Is all I'm going to say. So give me the Lions over the Giants, and then finally, this is kind of like one of those where I just kind of hate watch.
It's scary.
Give me Shedeur Sanders beating the Raiders in his first ever start. Give me Sheduzzy. Give me Sheduzzy. Okay? Give me look, Shedeur looked horrible last week. 4 for 16. Like when he came in for Dylan Gabriel.
He doesn't have all the 5 stars his daddy used to recruit around him.
It was not good, okay? Not good. And all the rumors coming out of Browns camp is that Dylan Gabriel takes 95% or 99% of the first team reps. He's the starting quarterback, as you should. Sorry. Ask Peyton Manning.
Especially as a rookie.
Exactly. Ask Peyton Manning, ask Tom Brady how many reps those backups got during practice. They got 0. Okay. So
you get to hold my clipboard and you get to shut the hell up.
But now Shedeur has a chance with a full week of practice because he got named the starter on Tuesday. Full week of practice, ready to go. And now he gets to face, honestly, a really bad football team. The Raiders aren't good. The Raiders are not, and I understand they're not good on the offensive side of the ball. They're good.
Neither are the
defensively.
Browns.
Oh, the Browns are horrible too. But I if Shador doesn't do well, I have all the faith in the world of Myles Garrett taking Geno Smith's head off, because that offensive line for the Raiders is just as bad. Because
both sides have a demon as a pass rusher. I guarantee you, I think if you put the games where both of those guys had like 3 to 4 sacks themselves, there would be a combined like 0-5 or 0-6 on the season. When those defenses dominate, the other phases of the game figure out ways to just let. I feel like we'll see a lot of defensive touchdowns. We might see a kick return touchdown. Offensive touchdowns. Did the offenses show up? Gino,
are you here? You know what? Because my coworker with the Mammoth, who is a big Oregon fan, and I've heard nothing about how Dylan Gabriel is so far better than Shador. I'm like, I'm not even the biggest C fan. Obviously, I'm a CU fan, but not like a diehard, like to the T. But like, I wanted Shador to do well, because not just that, because like a big FU to the Raiders for not drafting you, big FU to the Saints for drafting Tyler Shuck, who's been horrible. Like a big FU to everybody. So that's all. That's
if he wins a game, then you can't say that Tyler Shuck was better than he is, because Tyler Shuck has 1 win, and I think that'll be the only win that the Saints and the Titans should play at the last game of the season for the number 1 overall pick.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, good for Tyler Shuck or whatever, but Shador is better still. So I want Shador to get
that was
and cook.
2 weeks ago in our pick'em. I picked against the Saints, and that was the one game that they won, and their damn all white uniforms against the Panthers.
Who, by the way, are 6-5 and have a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs.
And they have a better record than the flipping Bengals.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not surprising considering your quarterback situation. But the Chiefs are healthy.
Sitting at the beginning of the season, even without Joe Burrow, I thought that our backup was supposed to be better than Bryce Young, because Bryce Young hadn't been good.
Bryce Young has been good the last couple of weeks. Slowly getting there. Still not great, but
he's
better.
Still not durable at all. Some guy fell down and his helmet hit his shin, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Oh, this hurts so bad." My picks, because I did have a good weekend, but we could both go 4-0, and there would be no movement in the standings. So this is kind of why we.
As I get a bigger lead, I'm going to pick less and less games the same. Is all I'm going to say. I'm going to get a little bit more risky until it starts getting close, and then I'm going to be smarter. Because let's be honest with you, the Colts and Browns picks were shots in the dark. I picked 2 locks. So I'm going to go 38-8.
Yeah, I feel like
it's whether or not I go 38-10 or 40-8.
The only one that I'm not 100% sold on is my second one. So I have the Patriots beating the Bengals, because last year was a fluke. But this year, the Patriots are a much better football team. Travion Henderson is going to run for 150 yards. Drake May might have his first 300-yard passing game against the pass defense, because he's only, I think, had 1, if he's had any in his career, of over 300 yards, which will be great for me. I'm going to be rooting for it, because this defense and this coaching staff, very few people in this organization right now have got to stay. Everybody else can hit the road, and we can start over and blow it all up. I'd rather not have a franchise in Cincinnati than have to watch this coaching staff coach another football game and this defense take the field ever again in my life.
I mean, let's be honest with you. If the Bengals blow everything up, right? You trade T. Higgins, you restructure the defense, you get a new coaching staff, you get rid of some veterans, and you just keep Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and you have a year where you go 9-8 and miss the playoffs next year. That's a step in the right direction.
I feel like there would be a culture. There is no culture.
That's a great step for you. That should be the goal right now.
That honestly sounds awesome. Guess what it sounds like, Niko? It sounds like the Broncos from a couple years ago.
True, very true. Small baby steps. Baby steps.
I'm not going to go. Well, we did. That's the crazy thing. We went from a number 5 overall draft pick to the AFC Championship that one year, and that, I think, kind of skewed everybody's vision. My second game that I'm nervous about is Pittsburgh and Chicago. Chicago, record-wise,
Chicago, by the way, number 1 seed in the NFC, or number 1 team in the NFC North.
Chicago. I believe that they won the division the year that the Broncos made the Super Bowl too, and I think that was the double doink at home in Soldier Field, if I'm not mistaken. But the Steelers, they lose Aaron Rodgers last week. But here's the thing. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Mason Rudolph, and is much more accomplished and all of that, more talent in his pinky than Mason Rudolph has ever carried in his entire body. But what they are right now is fairly close, I would say, because Aaron Rodgers, since he's left Green Bay, has not been the stud MVP caliber quarterback. Mason Rudolph can probably get the ball to their 6'7", 350-pound tight end and let him just mash over the Bears defense. I'm scared because I'm almost at the point where I'm believing Ben Johnson shit. The good, better, best is a good chant, and they're playing really solid ball. Like, they're winning these close games.
They have the kicker. They have the kicker.
They do have a kicker.
The scroll gritty.
Their defense is not great, but their defense gets turnovers at times that they would otherwise be dead.
Caleb
so
Williams
there's very big
good football too. I know you hate saying that, but he's playing really good football.
Caleb Williams is winning football games. Here's the thing: all of those second-year quarterbacks from last year are
not all. Not three all. Of them are. Three of them are.
3 of the 6. So we're hitting at 50%, which is better than most other draft years. They're all doing really well in their second season. So that one I'm nervous about, but I do think that Tomlin as an underdog is where I'm sitting with here.
I'm going to argue that because Penix has now had his 4th season-ending surgery again, and the Falcons weren't looking very good, by the way, with Penix. And McCarthy has more interceptions than he does pass attempts. He's been horrible.
Yeah, I said 3 out of 6 are good.
Well, and Jaden Daniels obviously had the injury at the end of the season, but he made the AFC or NFC Championship last year, so you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. So it's really 4 out of the 6, but
could be.
Yeah, it's 3 of
the 6 that we're actively seeing right now, and who knows, maybe Jaden Daniels comes back. But if I was Dan Quinn, I wouldn't have him play.
No, absolutely.
They're so far out of things right now. This is where everybody expected them to be last year with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, they shouldn't even bother. But yeah, I mean, look, Caleb Williams has been great. I know as much hate as people want to give Bo Nix, he's the second best quarterback in this draft class right now. Been to the playoffs, has his team as the number 1 seed in the AFC. Like I only put Drake May above him. And Drake May, if you swap Drake May and Bo Nix, Drake May the Broncos would be undefeated. First of all, we'd have the best. We wouldn't have lost. And then Bo Nix probably has the Patriots fighting for a division title with Buffalo right now.
Do you think that you could have handled the 4 interception game that Drake May had when he was concussed and they refused to take him out of the game?
We've done a lot. We've done a lot of dumb things.
I've seen you. Actually, never mind. We've talked about Kendall hitting his quarterback on this show.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of dumb things. Okay, from quarterbacks. Okay, so I'm not gonna act like that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Bring back Bortles. Bring back Bortles. My third pick is a lot. These are. I'm very confident. They had a big game last week. The Rams and the Seahawks. The Rams win. The Seahawks, if it wasn't for Darnold having a New York Darnold moment, they probably have a very good – because their defense with 4 turnovers still kept it as a three-point game. That's insane.
Seahawks are very good, man. They're a very, very good football team.
They're well coached. Mike McDonald is a good coach.
I mean, he was a guy from, was it Baltimore? Is that right?
Yes, Baltimore. It was that Harbaugh. That Harbaugh, not Jim.
Yeah, he has been – like such a good, like, you see what the Ravens defense has been without him, and see what the Seahawks defense, which is good last year, but now it just took it to a whole nother level with him. And yeah, the Seahawks, like, they're probably one of the most slept on teams because of who's at quarterback. And it's not a slight to Sam Darnold. It's just like, it's a prove it. Like you haven't done anything.
Every time that the spotlight gets bright and you have a chance, like last year when they were playing for the number 1 seed against Detroit, shit the bed in the playoffs. He's getting better. That's the other, like, because he was drafted in a class with like 6 or 7 quarterbacks, and I think it was 6 quarterbacks in the first round, and he wasn't good for a long time, but that was a situation fit. And now that he's been in some sort of situation that seems decent, I would like to give him a little bit more of a leash, a little bit more of an opportunity.
He was at Baker class, wasn't he?
He was in Baker's class.
Baker, Josh Allen, Lamar, Darnold, Rosen, and was there one more, or was it 5? I can't remember.
Rosen.
It went Baker, drafted 1. It was Darnold 2. It was Josh at 7.
It was Josh Allen. Josh Allen and
Rosen at 10, and Lamar at the end of the draft.
So it was 6. 5. It was 5 because the radio station was calling it Hall of Fame 5 because everybody was convinced that if you drafted your quarterback in the first round, you were going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's that class has been, outside of Rosen, frankly, it has been very good. Like all better. All 4 out of the 5 are all starters in football, and
only one is still on the same team. Only two are on the same team that they were originally drafted to.
Which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But that segues to this next game. The Rams I really like what the Rams are doing. Stafford is playing unreal. It's crazy what that team has done because they've re-identified their who they are after winning that Super Bowl, right? You don't have Donald, you don't have Vaughn, obviously, you don't have Cooper Kupp, you don't have Robert Woods, you don't have all these weapons, but you still have Matt Stafford. And you bring in obviously Puka and Devontae Adams, which already is a better receiving core than what he had when they're
triplets at tight end, or
unreal.
Their triplets at tight end. Their 13 personnel is why they are the way that they are.
So good.
When you put 3 tight ends on the field, the defense has to go into their base, and their tight ends are better than any linebacker that's ever going to.
And Connor Williams is a great downhill runner too. He's been really good. And then they have the 2 edge rushers as well. Young and Verse, who have been incredible too. This Rams team is very, very real. I will say if there's any game that gives me cause for worry, it's Tampa, because Tampa has.
Did you see what they did last week?
I know they played. It was such a weird game because Tucker went nuts, and then Buffalo still wins the game. But Tampa Bay, I think, is still good. They're just not healthy. They just can't keep guys on the field.
I'm worried a little bit. I mean, I don't know what receivers are still available for Baker, but I'm not really worried because I think that the Rams, if they have to go into shootout mode, I think that Stafford still has a couple of shootouts. Not many.
It's Tez Johnson's the number 1 receiver right now. No Evans. I don't think Godwin's back yet. No Evans, no Godwin. I think Ibuka's still maybe he's back this week, but it's still rough injury too. Like it's not been.
I would love to see Godwin come back at some point because that has not been. I thought that I was only going to have to sit him for a week, and now it's going on 2. So I'm going to have to move off of him, and that's going to be unfortunate because somebody will pick him up when he's healthy. But Niko is picking Colts over Chiefs, Ravens over Jets, Lions over Giants, and the Browns over the Raiders. I have the Patriots over the Bengals, the Steelers over the Bears, the Seahawks over the Titans, and the Rams over the Bucks. Both of us can go 4-0. Both of us can go 0-4. If either of those 2 situations happen, nothing changes in the standings, but we'll see how things play out. The NFL is on its bullshit again, because there's some weeks that I'm like, oh, there's no way this team is ever going to – there's no way they would lose this one. Why would they lose this one? Oh, my God, they turned around and lost that game, huh? Damn. Let's get into our best and our worst of the week. I'll let you start because I know you want to talk about your king. We've already mentioned.
Hold on. Our king. You live in
our king.
Our
king.
King.
I'm just not a basketball. I don't want to claim
stolen
valor.
I don't care if you're not a basketball person. You live in Denver. You know who this man is. I don't care. Okay. I don't care if you've never watched a sporting event in your life. You see people wear Nikola Jokic jerseys for the drip. Okay, they don't just wear it because they're Nuggets fans. They wear it for the drip. He's got a sick nickname and fun player. 29 points per game, which, by the way, is insane. That's the 7th best points per game average in the league. That's nuts. That's the number 1 points per game average in 2005 by a good 3 whopping points per game. And to have that, considering it's 7th, is nuts. 13.4 rebounds per game, first in the NBA. 11.1 assists per game, first in the NBA. 65% from the field, 65% field goal percentage, including 3-point percentage, and then also, like I said earlier, 78% from 2-point range. This guy dropped 55 points last week, and it's funny. Ty Lue went on a post game press conference. He's like, "Oh, what was your plan for Jokic?" I said, "Oh, our goal was to make Jokic a score tonight. We didn't think he'd score 55." That was a real statement. That was a real statement from a head coach.
That's almost as bad as Narduzzi saying he'd rather lose by 90 and win out his ACC games. What are we talking about here?
The Clippers have a lot of other problems, which we could talk about that another day because they are one of the worst teams of basketball. And guess who owns their first round pick?
We do.
No, the other team that accumulated 500 first round picks and is the best team in the NBA. So thank you,
okay,
James. So please, James Harden, win some basketball games. For the love of God, please.
I'm not going to do it, so quit asking.
Please figure it out. Kawhi, stop road managing. We need you winning basketball games, please. But yeah, Jokic is the best player in the world. Been the best player in the world. Best player of this new generation. Because I think we can say LeBron era, Curry / Durant era, Jokic era / Giannis era, and I think Jokic has already passed Giannis in terms of durability, MVPs obviously he already has, and how great he has been consistently every single night. So he's the best player in the world, and like I said, I would love to do this. I don't have this off the top of my head, and I change the graphic every single week, so I don't know the statistic. I've done Nikola Jokic Player of the Week probably 20 times. I don't, and I think I just could input his own graphic every single week if I wanted to.
It's impressive that you continually find new pictures.
I just find pictures. I mean, they take pictures of him every game, so I just find a picture of the most recent game. But yeah,
I dare everybody to go back through, count the number of times Nikola has been Player of the Week, and count how many different poses and pictures and graphics. That would be cool collage.
Maybe we start a new segment next week called "What did this idiot do this week?" and see what he did every single week, and that's the basketball segment when there's nothing to talk about.
That could be that definitely. We can talk about it even into the offseason probably.
Well,
historically, this has never happened. So let's talk about this.
No man has ever had 4 horses win 4 different races in the same weekend in Sombor, Serbia, and that's what this idiot did this week.
Yeah, he's about to make Sombor the most famous city in Serbia, and there was a major political assassination in Bosnia, Serbia, and nobody will even know because I've just probably educated half of you on 2 cities that are in Serbia.
You educated me on something that happened in Serbia, but yes.
That's where World War I kicked off because they assassinated the Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Bosnia. Now we're off to history.
This is where King came from.
Yes, he did. He's a hardened people. They're hardy people. They take action.
Which also, sorry, one last tangent because we didn't talk about this last week. The Morris twins think they can beat the Jokic brothers?
Those guys are connected. Not the Morris twins. The Jokic brothers are connected, probably well connected.
Are they done?
They just don't understand. I gotta teach it out of my kids. America's not the center of the universe. Our hardened gang members have nothing on some of these organized crime members from these other places. I'm not saying that the Jokic brothers are in organized crime. I'm just saying they live in a place where they happen.
Do they think these guys are like 5'10"? They're 6'11". 285 is Strahinja. And the other one is 7 foot 254. Do the Morris twins the Morris twins may be the dumbest people in the world. Jokic gets smarter every day for punking one of them in the back. Anybody's got a podcast nowadays. Some people just need to learn to just quiet down. Makes no sense why the Morris twins think first of all, Jokic could beat both of them up single, like one by one, easily. First of all, they're fake tough guys. Very fake tough guys. They are the ones that say, let's do a fist fight and brings a gun to the fight because they know they can't beat you. That's exactly what it is, okay? But the 2 older brothers, outside Jokic, Strahinja and Nemanja, they're kicking the absolute crap out of the Morris twins, is all I'm going to say.
And they're not stopping when you tap out.
We have Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua happening in December. Jimmy, what's the amount of money? And shout out Bill Simmons for doing this because I want to play this with you. What's the lowest amount of money, or what's the highest amount of money you wouldn't pay for Morris twins for Strahinja Battle Royale?
A Battle Royale?
All 4 of them are in an octagon. No gloves, just fist fighting. How much would you not pay?
How much would I not pay if it's anything more than the Floyd and Pacquiao? Because we bought that.
I'm serious. I think I cap at 200. I'd pay $199 for it just to see it. I would. I'm sorry. I would put Nate Robinson on the card. I would. Nate Robinson
versus Jake Paul 2.
Jake Paul 2. Throw Mike Tyson's 70-year-old ass out there with Roy Jones Jr. again. Let's just do a COVID boxing all over again when we had nothing else to talk about. So we talked about that.
Oh my gosh, it's bad.
Time that was.
I can't believe we got all the way out to there with Player of the Week. But my Player of the Week is Sean Tucker, a guy that nobody ever heard of because he's a 3rd-string running back. But when you get thrust into the limelight and you do what he did, 4 touchdowns on the day, it would have been better if it was in a win. But that was a great performance from somebody that probably didn't expect to even be out there a couple weeks ago. And now he's leading the charge and helping what is a good offense, what is a good team, try and hold on to whatever semblance of respect that they have left. I'm going to go my Benchwarmer of the week first because I'll explain mine. UCLA, thought for like a split second, maybe there was a chance that they could pull off the upset of the century, but the UCLA magic is gone. It's dead. It's gone. Maybe it's not dead, but they need to retool and they need to revamp. And when you don't have Niko Iamaleava playing as your 5-star quarterback against Ohio State, it got ugly, even uglier than it has been.
It's not uglier than or I don't spit on that thing as Jamar Chase did this past weekend as for my bench room of the week. It's not look. You should never, if you're going to spit on someone and you expect to not get hit, you're an idiot. Let's just put that out in the world. Okay. If someone spits on me, I'm sure the exact same way, my fist is through their fucking face. And I know yours is too. And Jamar Chase not only did that, but then had his coaches hold him back and did the hold me back thing where he like faked like he was going to punch, but had 3 people holding back. And then had the balls to say post-game, I didn't spit on him. No. I don't do that. Then he like gave him that face like, why would you even think I would do that? When broad daylight, national television, you could see like I don't know why he thinks you can't see it.
There was the first spit, it was a loogie.
The first play of the NFL season, a guy spit on a dude and was kicked out. Remember that? Jalen Carter, clear as day. We saw that in slow motion. Leave his lips and go on the field. And you're telling me like we can't slow it down and see you doing the exact same thing? Are you nuts?
No, I'm not sitting here and you will not get a defense from me because you should be suspended if you spit on somebody. I believe it's the most disrespectful thing you can do in this situation besides, the other things would be like pantsing somebody intentionally or
taking someone where the sun don't shine is the other.
And that's happened before too. Yeah. I mean, Ndamukong Suh did that as well
against stepped on a dude's face too. Yeah, that doesn't help either.
So again, the NFL is like 50, maybe 45 to 50% really good guys that are talented, made it to the NFL because of their hard work and dedication and are good professional athletes. There is always at least 20% of the locker room that are guys that are just, if you give them the right ways to screw up their life, they will, because they don't know any other way to do that. And what Jamar Chase did and spitting on this guy's fate on this guy. And do I think that Jalen Ramsey's probably said some things that warrant somebody going after him? Yeah, if you know Jalen Ramsey, that's part of his game. He's up at 3 a.m. the night before checking Instagram. Who is this girl? Who is this girl you've been seeing? Oh, Lilo. Tell me about Lilo as he's lining up across from him in press coverage. Like, that's what he does. But whatever is said, you handle it in a different way than spitting on somebody. If he truly pissed you off to the point, go after him like AJ Green did. You remember when AJ Green did it, but you remember when Andre Johnson tore off the Titans cornerback's helmet?
Cortland Finnegan, yeah.
And just that. Was it, like, if you say something that gets over my skin, that's an appropriate reaction. You're going to get kicked out and suspended the same way. But this one, you didn't get any licks in. No. You gave him what most you spit on him. What does that do?
Does nothing except for and it adds to the fact of Jalen Ramsey reminding you what he did to you in the Super Bowl.
Oh, he lives rent free in that dude's head. Jamar Chase has been thinking about Jalen Ramsey for the 4 years since they played in the Super Bowl. Because I was open on your ass. Doesn't matter because they couldn't get the ball to you because you were underneath my defensive tackle.
Because Vaughn and Donald made Joe's life a living hell. So
you had 2 turnstiles to tackle. It isn't Jalen Ramsey's fault. So why are you spitting on him? You know who? I already said it. You should spit on that Zach Taylor contract before you light it on fire. Because unfortunately, you're sticking around. Right now, I say unfortunately because he's not. I was hoping.
Right now, you want him to stick around to lose as many games as possible. Is all I'll say.
Here's what I was hoping for after the Burrow injury is that he would take over and show that maybe he could be somebody that could be looked at as a leader. Possibly. Maybe. No,
that's
never.
Asking too much.
Never once in a million years would I want that guy as a captain of my team that I was coaching or playing for. And I know that he's good. I'm not saying that I don't want him on my team, but no, not a leader. At least not right now in his career. He is young. I will give him that. He is a couple years younger than us. So I've made dumb mistakes and probably gotten emotional in situations. Maybe this is a learning experience. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't spit.
Don't steal. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal.
Viva la raza.
Rasta. There we go. Had to throw that in there. We're less than a month before he retires. We'll talk about it.
It is.
Last week.
You know what I saw today? It's the 20th anniversary of Eddie passing, and them doing those tribute videos on Raw and SmackDown. Because I saw JBL's interview that he did after that. Because JBL and Eddie were obviously really big rivals on camera, but they were good friends. Like, I'm not ready for this. I don't think that I'm prepared for this.
It's already like I've watched every Raw every show he's been on the last month, and I'm already like, please don't. Just kidding.
I'm about ready to go through and just start watching all of his old Velocity matches and just relive his career again.
I want to watch every single thing he did this entire year. Like going back to his first appearance on WWE on Netflix, episode 1. I want to watch that segment, then follow it up with the next show and the next show. However many appearances he said, I want it all.
It's been great. We'll make sure that we update it because that'll be a tough day when John Cena retires. We're obviously WWE fans, and we were big WWE fans back when we were kids, and John Cena was that. He was all of it. Still is and will be for the foreseeable future. I know that the younger generations are going to say Roman, but no, come on. It was John. It was Johnny.
There's one go. There's only
17. The never seen 17.
17-time Grand Slam champion.
That is amazing. We talked a lot about football. I know that you're going to enjoy the bye week. You don't have any stress. Hopefully, the Chiefs do get taken care of, and you don't have to worry about ending their playoff hopes. But I know you'd like to do that too in your next game that you see them on Christmas. Make sure that you're following. We've mentioned it a couple times, but subscribe, tell friends, continue to talk about the show. We're building up the community. Comment down below. We'll make sure that we reach out. We got clips. We got Rise of the Roadrunner. Everything that you can find from us is at feotbpod.org and on our YouTube channel and any other podcasting platform that you can possibly think of. Niko, what do you got for the people before we go off and enjoy this great weekend?
Look, so if I can plug one thing, NLL season starts next week. If you have an NLL Plus, you can watch the cross games, indoor box games for free. For FREE, that spells free. It's freecreditreport.com, baby, for those that know that commercial. Okay, free shout outs. I don't think they're a thing anymore. But you can watch the games this weekend. We have our last scrimmage against Vancouver, which I'm excited to be in Vancouver for. Should be a lot of fun. First time Canada. Canadian A. There is a Tim Hortons right across the street from the hotel, and there's apparently the best Lulu outlet store you'll ever see. Because
what is the temperature going to be?
Oh, it's raining every single day. Not great. Not great. I know, not great.
But it's a good thing you're playing an indoor sport now.
Exactly. It's an indoor sport, so I don't worry about that. But yeah, there's a Lululemon store that apparently is like the greatest outlet store possible because Canadian Lululemon, the price, the US dollars, you get to pay the Canadian dollar. So it's less money already, and then you get my discount for working in sports. Oh, I can't wait. I literally am going to go crazy. Christmas shopping is going to be happening this weekend and next weekend.
If you got Niko, and if Niko drew you in his Secret Santa, you're going to get some Lululemon merch. That's where that's coming from. Make sure that you make it through customs with all that. You don't want to get stopped at the border or anything. You know how we are about our Fabletics. Oh, sorry. That's a shout out. No free shout out to both of them, I guess. This has been a fun episode 256 of the Far End of the Bench podcast. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host, Niko Bryant. We will see you guys next week.
Peace!
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.